The Flyboys facing the Axemen tonight here at Pioneer Park. We'll go with left-hander Freddie Baravitas on the mound. Baravitas has become one of Greenville's most dependable pitchers, be it as a starter or a high-leverage relief arm. 15 2/3 innings, just 2 earned runs allowed. In his last start against the Danville Otterbots, Baravitas led the Flyboys in a 4-0 shutout victory. The left-hander worked 6 scoreless innings, allowing just 2 hits while striking out 8 Otterbots hitters. Cam Durnan and Ezra McNaughton are numbers 1 and 2 in the Appy League in RBIs. Durnan enters tonight with 38. Here's the 1-0. Durnan takes a high fastball, and it's 2-0. Ezra McNaughton has 36. Both of them batting third in their respective lineups. Here's the 2-2. Tryon hits a chopper up the middle. Inge charging, throwing on the run. It's low, but dug out cleanly on a short hop by Ezra McNaughton. And that's the inning. Freddie Baravitas works around a 2-out walk, and we are scoreless after a half. Right-on-right matchup. Here's the pitch. Kim hits a high bouncer to the right side. Charging is P.J. Jones. There's some miscommunication. Kim is safe, and Miller scores from third. It was a swinging bunt up the first base line. Cespedes, the pitcher, went over as the first baseman, P.J. Jones, came in. Both of them went after the ball, and nobody was covering first base. So credit Kim with an RBI infield hit, and the Flyboys take a 1-0 lead with 2 gone in the bottom of the first. Here's the 1-2. Jones takes strike 3. 94 from Baravitas at the bottom of the zone. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the second for the lefty. Here's the 2-0. Denton hits a high fly ball toward deep right center field. Micah Jordan sprinting deep into the gap. He makes the catch and dodges Danny Wallace. The two of them nearly colliding out there. Mentioned that Wallace is making his Flyboys debut, but crisis averted. Denton flies out, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the second for Freddie Baravitas. Here's the 2-2. Davila hits a hard grounder to second. Diving stop Miller to second for 1. Inch to first. Not in time. Peyton Miller flashing the leather once again, though. That ball was headed for the right center field gap. Miller took 1 step, dove, gloved it, and flipped to Tyler Inge to retire Blake Primrose. 0-1. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. High and tight. Throw from Jackson. The tag from Inge. Out at second base. Dylan Jackson cuts down Davila, trying to swipe his 7th bag of the season. And Freddie Baravitas has worked 3 scoreless innings against Kingsport so far. Jackson with a chance to extend Greenville's 1-0 lead. Here's the pitch. A fastball in the dirt. It gets past Denton. McNaughton's going to sprint home. Play at the plate is not made. And the Flyboys take advantage of another mistake by the battery of Cespedes and Denton. It's now 2-0 Greenville as McNaughton dives across home plate. Here's the 1-1 to Jackson. Swinging a line drive up the middle, past the dive of Durnan into center field. Kim's trying to score from second. The throw to the plate is offline. Jackson moving up to second. The throw there is in time to get him. Jackson tried to take the extra 90 feet on the throw, but Denton throws him out, and it's Durnan who applies the tag. Credit Dylan Jackson with an RBI single. Flyboys lead 3-0. Here's the full count pitch. Primrose takes strike 3. DeCiso, the home plate umpire, waited a second. That was a backdoor slider from Baravitas. And there is his second 3-up, 3-down inning of this game. Freddie Baravitas with 11 straight scoreless innings dating back to last week in Danville. Halfway home, Greenville blanking Kingsport 3-0 on the fly. Colin Larson works an 11-pitch walk right there. That is incredible hitting, especially after some of the swings he had earlier on in that plate appearance where he looked like he was fooled. But credit to him. You knew that eventually he was going to find a way on base. That's big because it brings the tying run to the plate in the form of Cam Durnan, who has reached both times tonight. So a single and a walk for him, and he is the league's RBI leader with 38. So if Kingsport is going to get on the board, it's going to happen here, at least against Baravitas. Once it gets to the bullpen, you don't know. But if it's going to happen against Freddie Baravitas, it'll be here in the 6th inning. And what you'd really love for Baravitas is an inning-ending double play. He's been great in high leverage spots. He hasn't been in many of them. But the Flyboys brought him on against Bluefield to get a couple outs late in the series finale and keep the lead intact, and he did it with back-to-back strikeouts. So now, a dream scenario here for Durnan at the plate. You're the best in the league at driving runners home, and you've got a 3-1 count. Benavides does not want to load the bases, of course. Here's the 3-1. Durnan hits a slow roller to the left side. Kim to Miller for one. The throw to first. A double play. 6 scoreless innings once again for Freddie Benavides. There's your 5-4-3 inning ender as he retires the league's RBI leader for his second consecutive start with 6 innings and no runs allowed. On to the home half of inning number 6 we go. That is a huge inflection point in this game. The Flyboys lead Kingsport 3-0. First and second, one away. Flyboys lead 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th. And here's Tyler Inge. Here's the pitch from Suggs. Swinging a sharp ground ball past the third baseman toward the left field corner. Tyler Inge has his first hit. Wallace is sprinting home. Grant Hunter right behind him. Here's the throw to the plate. The tag from Denton is not applied, and it's a 2-run double for Tyler Inge. You knew he was going to get his eventually. Tyler Inge gives the Flyboys a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Right after Greenville escaped serious trouble in the top half of the frame, the Flyboys add some insurance in the bottom of the inning. Here's the 2-1. Jones hits a flare past the third baseman Cameron Kim down the line. That ball was barely fair. Swinney's headed first to third. He's going to try to score from first. Here's the throw from Hunter. It is cut off. That ball hugged the third base foul line. It spun towards the tarp in foul territory after it got past the third base bag in fair territory. That was a very odd batted ball from P.J. Jones. But it's an RBI double. Kingsport's on the board. It's now 5-1. Flyboys in control as we begin the top of the 9th. Greenville leading Kingsport 5-1. But Drew Maddox will have to face the heart of the Kingsport order to nail this one down. The 1-1. Durnan hits a line drive deep to straightaway right field. Wall is sprinting back, can't get it. Durnan's on his way to second base, and he gets the stop sign there with a leadoff double for Kingsport. And that'll help you forget about your misfortune in your last at-bat. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a high bouncer straight up the middle. Miller at deep second base, fields it, throws to third to try to catch Durnan leaning, but he's there. And Tryon reaches on the infield hit. That's the second one of those tonight where Kingsport has had a high bouncer directly past the mound, and Peyton Miller has really had no chance at making the play at first. Kingsport threatening now, first and third with nobody out in the top of the 9th. Flyboys leading 5-1. Mason Swinney to the plate. And this is where you start to get a little nervous if you're the Flyboys. The tying run is still on deck. But if you don't get at least one out with Swinney at the plate here, then you're in serious trouble. Here's another full count offering on the way. Swinney hits a line drive towards center field. This ball is down for a base hit. The runners had to make sure it dropped. Micah Jordan thought about firing one home, but did not have a chance. Durnan crosses home plate standing up, and the first 3 men have reached to start the 9th. An RBI single for Mason Swinney, and it is 5-2 Flyboys. Kingsport inching closer, and now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of P.J. Jones. A look at second, and the 1-0. Jones hits a line drive to straightaway center. Micah Jordan coming on, diving, and it gets past him. Oh, no. Tryon's going to score. Swinney will score from first. Jones is headed to third. This ball got all the way to the wall, and it's a 1-run game. A 2-run triple for P.J. Jones. He has 5 RBIs in this series. It's 5-4 in the top of the 9th, and the tying run is at third with nobody out. That's one of those where, as an outfielder, you take that risk of diving at the ball hit directly at you. And if it gets past you, then it's big trouble, and that is exactly what happened to Micah Jordan. Ty Denton will dig in with the tying run at third base and nobody out in the top of the 9th. Flyboys leading 5-4. Here's the 3-2. Denton hits a soft ground ball off the glove of Tyler Inge, and this will tie the game. Ty Denton puts it in play up the middle. Inge went to his backhand, couldn't get it. P.J. Jones scores without a play, and it's 5-all in the ninth with still nobody out. The Flyboys looked like they had this game. The bases are loaded. The go-ahead run is at third base with 2 away for Cam Durnan. And I don't want to use the C word, but this has been as close to a collapse as the Flyboys have had in any game this season. Remember, back in the 6th inning, in a 3-run game with 2 on and 1 out, Cam Durnan grounded into an inning-ending double play. Here he is again. Patton looking to retire him. Here's the 0-2. Durnan hits a flare towards shallow right center field. Miller going back. Wallace coming in. This ball is down, and Kingsport takes the lead. 2-run score because everyone was running with 2 outs. And you knew if he got another chance, Cam Durnan was not going to miss it. He hit an 0-2 pitch off the end of the bat to shallow right center. Alex Kelsey scores from third base. Derek Pitts scores from second. Kingsport has scored 6 times in the top of the ninth. And the Axemen now lead 7-5. Here's the 3-2. McNaughton hits a high fly ball to deep right center field. Going back is Pitts. That ball is gone. And the Flyboys get one back as Ezra McNaughton hits his 11th home run of the season. But the Flyboys need some more. It's 7-6 as McNaughton leads off the inning. He extends his league lead with home run number 11. The pitch to Kim. Swinging a hard ground ball up the middle. It's past Cam Durnan into center field. And the Flyboys have the tying run aboard with nobody out. Here's the full count offering. Swinging a chopper up the middle. This is a chance for 2. Durnan steps on second for 1. It's a double play. Dylan Jackson thought it was ball 4. Instead, he grounds into a 6-3 double play on the very next pitch, and the Flyboys are down to their final out. Here's the pitch. Patton strikes out swinging, and that's the game. Wells got him to chase a slider, and that's it. The Axemen are now 2 games clear of Greenville in the Appy League West. Kingsport tied with Bluefield for the most wins in the league with 21. 21-14 for the Axemen. Flyboys led this game 5-0 after 6, 5-1 after 8, but could not close it out. Greenville drops to 18-15 overall. The Flyboys are now 2 games back, 4-9 in the month of July after a 14-6 month of June.